Welcome to this episode of Quantum Leap. I'm your host, Toyin Umesiri, author of Mindset of an Entrepreneur. Today, I want to go deeper and teach you how to sell better using the power of human intelligence. So, the phrase human intelligence is what I coined in my school, and it includes this concept of mindset coaching. So, how you think, how you approach strategy, the who, what, where, when, how. Okay. It also includes emotional intelligence. So, energetics, how you connect with people, how you understand people. It also includes the science of spirituality, the concept of impact, power, will, exerting intentionality, exerting your will and impacting people positively. And so what I've found in my school is not just to sell, it's not just about technical skills, but selling is one of the most powerful skills you can develop in the world. And it's probably the most challenging to teach or to learn as well. Okay, so I empathize when people struggle with selling, and today what I'm going to teach you will absolutely be a game changer and will transform your approach towards selling. So the first thing I want you to understand is that it's relational and human to human. For you to be able to sell, it's a relational experience, how you relate to humans. And most times, people fail at it because they are approaching it through logic, reason. Okay? So many times, people make assumptions, and those are logical assumptions. If I build this product, people will buy. If I post this content, people will respond. If I tell people this is the best solution in the world, then they will believe me, then they will act on it, on and on. People tend to make assumptions believing that other people will respond based on their own expectation. But that's not how it works. Relationships, sales follows emotions and feelings, beliefs and thoughts and perceptions of other people based on the information and the energetic vibration you are showcasing, you're presenting to them. So I'm going to go deeper, really technical now. So the concept of emotions and feelings, they are not logical. They follow more of quantum physics, chemistry, biology. What do I mean by that? Is that energetics, the side of us that is energetic, okay, and the chemical reactivity, okay, that produces emotions and feelings that are biological, right? Biological experiences. Our biology, our cells experiences emotions, and then our physiology, how we feel it, how we experience it in our body, moves us towards things or away from things. Okay, towards people or away from people. Is that how we experience things in the world, information and vibration in the world, influences will determine if this is something we like, this is something we don't like, this is something we want, this is something we don't want, this is something we need, this is something we don't need. Okay? And so our behavior, human behavior, is governed towards reactivity, how we react to information, how we respond to vibration, how we comprehend. Because in the natural world, again, this is quite advanced. In the natural world, we take in information through our 5 human senses: what we see, what we smell, what we listen to, what we hear, what we taste, what we touch. And so when you're selling, right, if it's a tangible product and you showcase that product, it's easier for humans to use the 5 senses to touch, to smell, right? You're selling a perfume, to smell. Because we have to take in information about how we're experiencing those things, right? If we see food, then we sniff it, we see it. Is that the human senses must be pleasured positively for us to make positive action towards those things. Where it gets more interesting is when you are selling intangible services, okay? when you're selling products, your presentation matters, right? And you give people time to see, to understand, to comprehend, to take in that information inside their own inner universe, and so that they can make decisions. When you're selling a service, you have to use the skills of communication to describe, to activate imagery, okay? You still have to use skills to help people unlock the processing of information, to help them make decisions that will compel them to act positively in the direction of your product and services. Okay? So to sell products requires presentation and exploration, and so people can experience what it is you're physically presenting through their five senses, take that information in, taste, touch, feel, right here, music. And so in a way, it's technically easier to sell things that activate and stimulates the five senses. So music, movies, right, food, okay? Things that we can smell, we can see, we can hear. It's natural. It's our natural way of comprehending the third dimension. Where I tend to also go deeper on, when I start going into design thinking, customer journey, on, is that when you're selling services, how do you still activate, right, those experiences that will help people conclude that they want this, they need it, and they make a decision to buy, okay? So that's a general framework to start with. Now, what I also want to share with you today is around sales mindset, okay? So the journey you will have to go on, and then the journey they will go on, and the power of marketing, of information presentation, and then offer. I'm going to cover it all in just this short moment we have, and then we go deeper in my school. One of the reasons people don't sell, or should I say people struggle, okay? There is this natural struggle because the science and the skill that helps you sell, they are not naturally taught in school. The psychology of skills, of sales, mindset, human to human, right? The traditional school system is governed primarily to helping us become more logical so that we can develop skills that will help us contribute technical skills in the marketplace. Sales, however, as I shared, is not logical. It's energetics, it's chemistry, reactivity, it's emotions and feelings, and how we respond, right, to the things that we experience in reality. How people feed us energy, right? We eat food for energy. We listen to sound for vibration, right? Is that as an energetic being, things that take you to high vibration, high sense of possibility, that lifts your spirit higher, okay? Those things sell faster, okay? So now there are 4 journeys that you have to go on. The first one starts with you, internally. How you develop yourself to be able to bring your message from inside you to outside you. It sounds simple, right? Okay? What I'm saying sounds simple, but it's probably one of the most difficult things people can subject themselves to, because you are exposing. Most people are trained to hide intention, to hide behind their presentation. Sales, right, requires you to come out from behind the scenes and to show yourself. When we talk about soul alignment, is that people want to see you, people want to understand you, people want to know who you really are, and people want to gauge what your real intentions are. So the first secret of sales is your ability to be vulnerable, to present yourself in a way where people can quickly assess you, understand you, so that they can build trust that you're safe for them and you mean them all the good when they come closer to you. That's the biggest secret of sales, is that as soon as you can make your intentions known, you can expose yourself, you can be true, right? It's easier for It creates believability. People see you. Because when you don't do that, you make it more difficult for your prospects to navigate you, to really understand you, because they are saying, who is this person? What can he do for me? How can I work with this person? What is this person trying to sell me? Is this person trying to take advantage of me? Is this person trying to help me? Right? There are questions. We all want to understand what we're dealing with. We all want to have a 360 perspective when we're seeing things. That's the exploratory side of us, the curious side of us, is when we see something, even in the natural, we pick it up, we're like assessing it, we're like 360, what is this? Is this a stone? Is this a rock? Is it a diamond? That's who we are. So when you present yourself, the first thing people want to know is they want to understand you. Who is in front of me? Who is speaking to me? What does he want? Can he help me? Can I help him? So as quickly as you can bring that information and bring it forward, and this is the concept of branding, okay? Not making it too hard for people to identify you, to understand you, and to tell a story about who are you. When you brand, you've done the work of bringing your story from inside you and bringing it outside you and telling people this is who you are, which is exposing yourself, right? Branding makes you expose the story you want people to understand, comprehend, and believe about who you are, your journey, why you're doing what you're doing, the skills that you have, right? How you can help people, what you stand for, okay, in the world, and how you hope to serve the world and the people who work with you. That information, you cannot hide it, right? So when it comes to branding in my school, I really take my students first on that removing inner barriers to success, because anything that stops you from telling your story in the world, from showcasing your story in the world, from presenting your own inner narrative, anything that stands in the way, whether it's lack of confidence, limiting beliefs, on and on and on, history, past, all of this, whatever those things are, it is your responsibility to remove them, because they are standing in the way of you being able to get your message, okay, and present your identity so that people can connect, because people connect, right, first with who you say you are before they ever want to talk about what can you do for them, right? Because who they are, what their own challenges are, they are also hiding it, right? So this is the game. Is that you show me your hands first, show me your cards. If I like what it is I'm seeing and I trust you and I believe you, then guess what? I'll move closer, and then I can also start lowering my guards and we can start that conversation, and so I can present it because I've already assessed that you're safe enough, you're digestible. I like it. I like who you are. In fact, I want to be more of who you are. In fact, I think you can teach me something. So that's one of the things about human to human, is that who is going to lower the guards first? Who is going to present themselves first? Because again, humans have been trained to be guarded. You've been trained to be guarded. Your prospect has been trained to be guarded, particularly in a low trust environment. Everybody's guarded. So it takes courage. The courage of the entrepreneur, of the business owner, is to present, to say, you have the power, you have the confidence, right? To tell your story, to present your story to the world, and then invite other people to be part of that story, that narrative. So that's the first journey. It takes a whole lot of courage, inner work, for people to gain the courage to tell their story freely in the world. And that takes a lot of work. And so I support my students with a lot of workbooks, resources, self-mastery programs, tools, because I know ultimately that first journey starts inside the entrepreneur first. Now, once you do that work, I told you there are 4 journeys, your own inner journey. The second journey is about how you then present that message. So when you're ready to present the message, developing the skills, the communication skills, the storytelling skill is also something extremely important, because what's going to happen is you have to craft a series of messages, right, that you have for the world. that you have for your prospect, because those messages, different types of messages, when they see your message, the information you present, when they see it, how do they respond? Right? But the first thing is, who is the messenger? You are. Okay, we trust the messenger. If somebody knocks on your door, you peep. Who is this? Okay, if the person has a badge, postal service, okay, we trust. We open the door. Now we get curious. What message did you bring to my doorstep? Right? What are you doing here? Now I see you. I know you represent a company that we trust. Now I'm ready to open my door and explore. I'm curious. What message are you here to deliver? Right? If you don't have any message, that means you don't have any business knocking on somebody's doors. That's part of human, is that once we understand who you are, once your prospect understands you, the next thing is, what do you have for me? Right? What do you have for me? What are you presenting? And so the communication skill of presenting your message, are you trying to guide them, teach them, coach them, right? What are you trying to give the world? And your ability, what have you produced, what have you created that you have for the world? That you now you want the world to explore. You have to tell that story of your product, of your services, of your why. That is a skill. That's why I support my students with storytelling templates and frameworks, ton of it. Because the power of your story really is what unlocks believability. Is the story believable? Is it truthful? Is it attractive? When I talk about attraction marketing, right, magnetic messaging, is when you present your stories in what format? Video, text, newsletter, right, experiences. When you are taking people on a journey now to explore and experience you and your products and services and your platform and the things you've built, that is a story that makes people go, you know what, I like this, I don't like this, it makes me feel good. And again, it's emotions and feelings. It's all about reactivity. Is that when we see information or someone takes us on a journey or shares a story with us, when we experience that story, how does the story make us feel? What does it make us believe about ourselves, about the world, about you, about your products? And then also, how do we want to respond? So the first journey again is inside you, bring your message out. The second is, what message are you presenting into the world? The skills of communication to be able to understand and help people understand you. There's a lot of science to that. The third journey then is your prospects. When they experience that information that you're presenting, that message, what are they going to do? They have their own inner universe. I always say you can't think for your prospects. Your job is to present and give them something incredible to think about and comprehend. Because now we take in information, your prospects take in all of those experiences, all of the newsletters, right? All of the video clips, they take it in, they chew on it, right? And then what does it do inside them? How long does it last inside them, right? What value do they ascribe to it? What priority do they give it? How do they store it? And what memory do they keep out of those experiences? That is a lot of the work where we talk about nurturing, is that believability grows the more people experiences positivity, right? You presenting consistently positive message. Those who, in a way we say, consume, those who take it in, those who like it, those who keep it, you're literally doing things inside people. And the key is that reactivity, the emotions, the believability. Is it strengthening them? Is it making them more powerful? Is it making them more courageous? Right? Because that's hopefully is the journey you're on. Because I always tell my students, make sure you understand the emotions and feelings that people are experiencing of you. And this is about self-awareness. One of the skills of self-mastery is asking everybody that knows you, right? You can do this. It's more of an assessment, a self-assessment. You can do it privately, or I have tools to help you. Is that, how do people experience you? How do they experience your energetic vibrations? How do they experience you when you speak, when you present yourself in the world. Because that is literally going to translate to your business as well, because you are the same person, you carry the same vibration. Again, people may try to mask, but underneath it all, people will still experience the purest side of you. And so self-awareness requires you not to be ignorant, meaning not to know. Knowing yourself and knowing the effects and the impact you're having on the world. So I'll give you an example just to help you. So one of the things about the feedback I get, and I own it, you have to own it, okay, is people talk about Toyin is passionate, right? Is the motivation, the passion with which I pursue life, I pursue the things I do, that comes true, and I own it 100%. And I also manage it, okay? One of the ways of managing it is that, again, do the self-assessment. If you need to do the work, you can reach out as well. Check resources in my school. Is that one of the self-assessments is that the most powerful side of you needs to be managed. It needs to be tamed. And I'll give you an example. Sales can be pushy, right? You can have a strong zeal to see people change and transform their lives because you believe so much in them, but many people don't know when they cross the line. This is why I created this equation. I have a first degree in mathematics, but this is a more of a language thing to say. Passion sells, desire buys. It's this caution of, listen, I can be as passionate about solving a lot of things on behalf of the people I care about. But one of the wisest things in energetics is you don't want to use passion to push people away, because high energy sometimes, when other people don't know how to respond to high energy, they tend to, they want to create this safety bubble. This is when, back to elementary kindergarten, there is a space you don't cross. That space is when people own their space of taking in information. They use their power to take in information, their own energetic vibration, their own aura. It's natural to them. It's a safe, natural space for them. And don't push past it, because that's when you invite people, right? And so the fourth side of this journey is the invitation. Okay? There's the presentation of your information. So you work within yourself to learn how to get your message out into the world. Do that inner work. Learn also using workbooks and templates. I have a ton of them, of writing the right stories that brings people to learn more. They taking that information into themselves, they digest it, they conclude, they save it in their memory, depending again on what it is they experienced of you, if it's positive or not, they get to decide. The fourth side is how they now respond. Okay? If your information is pushy, right? And so this is the nice balance of energetics and also communication, is that you don't want to cross the line where you don't give people room, okay, to think. That's why I said you can't think for them. Many people attempt to think for other people and say, you don't even need to think about this. I know you enough. Listen, this is the prescription. Buy this, buy now, buy this, buy now. No. Right? Think about it. Even when you go to a medical doctor, like, your doctor cannot think for you. He will still present the prescription. He will still have a conversation with you. But ultimately, you get to decide if you want to fill the prescription, if you want to use the medication, and if you want to feel better. So that is where trust is. And so I encourage my students not to cross that trust barrier. Passion sells. Get really good at doing your own inner work and presenting the best information, okay? That's a skill you have to learn. And then inviting people means that you give them enough room for them to be able to walk through their own space, their own thoughts, to move in the directions of the product and services you're actually talking about. So it's that full loop, okay? You, your information, your message, your invitation, they comprehending, thinking through, making decisions, and then how they feel, what they believe, their own decisions, their own conclusions is what drives people to behave, to move forward. When they see something they need, when they see something they want, when they have desire. So passion sells, desire buys. Desire is their own propelling force that gets them taking action in the direction of the things they want to acquire. You see, you cannot take those action steps for them. You cannot dip your hands into anybody's wallet. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to paint a picture here. Many people attempt, they go beyond that space and they attempt to think for people, to make decisions for people, to conclude on behalf of people, but that never works. We know that. Worst case scenarios, it leads to buyer's remorse. And that's why there's a lot of low trust out in the world, is that after people feel pushed, nudged beyond their own safety space into taking an action they never wanted to take. They were drawn outside of themselves in a right? After they take that action, when all is said and done, when they settle back with themselves, things don't feel right. And so you don't want to do that. Passionately present, passionately, right? Do the work, present your products and services. And that's why I teach a lot of energetics, human intelligence skills, because when you understand this, your job is to what I call cook the deliciousness, right? Is that when you understand that your role is to present in a way that people find compelling, that people understand, in a way that makes people feel calm, peace, rested, and excited about taking direction, that is their own inner world, and that's what gets them moving in your direction. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Quantum Leap. I'm your host, Toyin Umesiri. Right? Please visit our website, toyinumesiri.com. We also have the school, toyinumesiri.academy. Super excited to have delivered this lesson to you. Reach out for more information. God bless you. Bye for now.